If you want to maximize your potential in this life, then you will have to transform. You'll have to transform from the worm into the butterfly and multiple times. This is an ever continuing process, right? If you want to go from a guy who's shy around girls, low self esteem, to somebody who's confident, you will have to transform. If you want to go from having a job to become an entrepreneur, you're going to have to transform. If you want to go from making six figures to making seven figures, you will have to transform. And every single time, this transformation is going to be uncomfortable, but also go through a predictable number of stages, which is what I'm going to show you here today. Okay, so the first stage is awareness. Awareness. What does awareness mean? It means that you're finally waking up. It's like you've woken up out of the matrix. You've realized that you have a problem and that it's also something that can be solved. Like for me personally, 6 years ago, when I first started my self development journey, my biggest pain was that I couldn't get a girlfriend. I couldn't get any girls to like me. And at first, all I knew was that I felt bad. I felt lonely. I felt, low all the time, right? And that's kind of pre-awareness. But once I became aware, this was when I saw on YouTube that there was, guys teaching you how to like talk to girls, how to become more confident, how to, have social skills, right? This was awareness. Now I realized that, holy shit, I have a problem. There's a name for it. There's actually people who help solve this thing. Now I realize that this is a actual thing. I know what my problem is. From there, I moved into the second stage. Okay. The second stage is called dabbling. Dabbling is a very problematic but also necessary stage. Okay. And this is the place where people get most stuck. People can get stuck here for 10 years or their whole entire lives. Okay. So at the point that I realized, okay, there's dating coaches that teach dating, there's content out there that'll make me become more confident with women, I started trying a little bit of it. Like, okay, I tried an approach. I tried to approach a girl at a cafe, right? I tried to, set up my Tinder profile. I tried to take some lousy pictures of myself. I tried some stuff. Okay. And for me, this stage was relatively short. Like, let's say 6 months to a year, when I was just kind of watching content, but just like mentally masturbating, right? Reading a bunch of books, reading a bunch of blog articles, like I learning a bunch of vocabulary in my head, but not actually doing much. My action, like my content to action ratio was like 100 to like 1. Okay. So that's the dabbling phase. And guys get stuck here forever. I know the last 3 years being a dating coach, there's tons of guys who watch my content all the time, comment, want all the freebies, yet they never actually take action. They are dabbling. Most people do this for years on end, don't get stuck here. But it's actually quite an essential step because the moment you become aware, you're not necessarily bought in that like you can change, that it's possible, like you don't know how hard it's going to be. You just kind of want to dip your toe into the world and see like, okay, how can I solve this problem, right? It's going to take you a little bit of warming up to the idea, a little bit more pain, right? You're going to feel like, oh, fuck, it's getting worse. And now I know what's happening. And now I see the other side and I can't reach it. That pain is what's going to drive you to this middle line here, which is the most important line. This line represents commitment. Commitment. Okay? This line in the middle is when you draw the line in the sand and say, no more. I'm done. I'm done with this old life, this old shitty life. I'm done with being broke. I'm done with being lonely. I'm going to do whatever it takes. Okay? And this is a commitment to yourself that you're not going back anymore. A lot of times, with enough dabbling and awareness, the pain gets so great that you say, I must take action. I must make a change. There's no going back. Okay. Now, what does this take? This takes courage. It takes courage to look yourself in the face and say, I'm not doing it. I'm not going back to that old life, no matter how comfortable it is, no matter how much it's in my comfort zone, no matter how uncomfortable the new life is, I am not going back. In my personal journey with dating, there was a group of guys that I was going out with, going to the bars, etc., learning this stuff from. They were kind of like my older brothers. And one night, okay, before we were going out, I told them, I stood up and told them in front of everybody, I am committing to this journey. Okay, I told them that I'm going to go out 3 nights a week for the next 6 months, and I'm going to master this. I am going to dive all in, no longer holding back. And that was a scary thing to do. That was incredibly scary because I made my commitment in front of people, which is a way of creating leverage that do the things that you actually say you're going to do. And that's exactly what I did. I went out 3 nights a week, approached, built my confidence, built my self-esteem, built my social skills, and things were never the same after that. That's when I fully jumped out of the airplane. Okay. Right. So now, past the line of commitment, what happens? Action. Action. This is good. Okay. This is where you're actually moving your feet forward. This is where you're actually implementing stuff. At this point, your content to action ratio is hopefully way more action than content. It should be like 1 hour of content and like 5 hours of action. Okay. And not necessarily free content either. You probably want to get a coach, a mentor that has step-by-step content that applies to you where you're at. So then you can take the right action. Okay, not just any random action, the right action, and you're taking 5 times more action than actual content that you're consuming. Okay, from there, this is where you're going to start getting better. Now, you're still going to be kind of like this old person. Your beliefs, your behaviors, your habits, your everything, you're still going to be kind of like this person. But the more action you take, the more you get closer to starting to become that new person, right? Instead of feeling like you're low self-esteem or not cool around girls, you start feeling like, damn, I'm pretty cool. Like, girls kind of like me, right? Like I got some swag, right? Instead of feeling like someone who's broke and destined to a 9 to 5 job, you start feeling like, damn, like I can get my own clients. I can be my own boss. I can get clients online, right? The more action you take, the more massive action, the faster you start transforming, which leads us to the last phase, which is the actual transformation. All right. So if you started out as a caterpillar here, and this is being a butterfly, the last phase is when your identity changes, where the way you look at yourself and see yourself completely changes. You're no longer the worm. You start seeing yourself as the butterfly. Like if you're trying to make money online, you stop being the person who's like, oh my God, these guys who make money online, they're like gods. You start seeing yourself as one of them. You start seeing yourself as, yeah, I'm an online business owner. Like, what's the big deal, right? It starts to feel normal to be that new person, and it starts to feel weird being that old person. You're not that old person anymore. You've walked so far along the journey that at this point, you are that new person, and it doesn't cost you any energy. You don't even have to try. When you walk outside, you're just magnetic to women, to people. When you work, you just attract money, you attract clients into your life. You don't even have to try because it's become unconscious. So these are the 4 phases of transformation. First, awareness, then dabbling. This is the scary phase. You don't want to get stuck here, but it is necessary. Then action, okay? Taking massive concrete action, ideally with a mentor so you know the correct action to take. You're not just taking random action. Transformation. This is where everything your mentor says starts to make sense. You start to feel like your mentor because you're like, I know how to do this. I'm on his level. I'm no longer like his student anymore. I am one of them. And then guess what? You get to this place, you realize that there's more. There's more that you can become. It's inspiring. And you want to transform again. And then you start here again. Okay, you're making 6 figures. You become aware that you can make 7 figures. And you dabble for a while. You're like, I don't know if I really want to do it. It seems pretty hard. It's really uncomfortable. It's going to ask a lot out of me. I mean, to be honest, that's kind of where I am right now. I'm kind of in this close to commitment, middle sort of taking action phase right now with my business, with this new business that I'm doing. And there's going to come a day where I say, fuck it, line in the sand. I'm never going back. Being six-figure business owner was great, but not anymore. I am going to be a seven-figure business owner. Now I'm going to take massive action towards that. I'm going to get myself a mentor, the person that I follow step by step. And then I'm going to transform into the butterfly, into the seven-figure business owner, the person that I want to become next, the person that impacts lots more people, that person that lives his purpose much more deeply, right? Has much more fulfillment in the gifts that he's giving on a daily basis. Boom. And then one day, that's all going to end. I'm going to feel like here again. I'm going to feel like shit. I'm going to feel like pain. I'm going to feel like dabble. We're watching random shit on YouTube, and it's going to repeat over and over. This is the process of transformation. The first time you do it, you're going to think, well, this part's going to suck, and this part's going to suck, and this part's going to be kind of fun. And then afterwards, you're going to realize that this part, still kind of sucks, but you know what's happening, and you know that it's a necessary part of the journey. So let's recap one more time. Awareness, dabbling, commitment, action, transformation. I hope this serves you. Tell me in the comments which phase you are right now with regards to which goal in your life.